What's up, y'all? We are back. We are back. We are back. We are back for another Mental Man Monday live stream. I am completely solo today. I hyped y'all up for episode last week, and I was fibbing, but I had just kind of had the realization that we got an 8-week stretch because I didn't know how I wanted to end the season. Now I figured that out. I've actually started the process of recording episodes for the season finale, the series finale of season 9, as well as the series title and all that good stuff. So this season will end, I think, actually January 1st. That'll be the last episode, and that'll be the last of the season. And then starting from this week on, it's an 8-week stretch, just every episode for the next 8 weeks. And this week's episode and next will be solo episodes and the introduction of something new this week. So yeah, I don't want to jump too ahead. I wait to the end. Now, usually, obviously, I'm gonna jump right in it today. We have a what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? We recapped the most recent episode, but we can't do that because it wasn't a new episode last week. So today we're just jumping right in. We're gonna have 3 topics today. So we're gonna start with the first topic today, which is about David Banner. Like I said, I'm solo, so we're gonna review this clip, get right into it, and go from there. So let's do it right now. And hopefully, remember, as always, this is live.
On a podcast that I really agree with. I didn't think I would have at first. I'm like, damn, this is an interesting take. He said, I can't trust men who cheat. And I love that because I think that we have to use our discernment when we are listening to certain people who aren't following the values that we also, we agree upon.
Well, I want to clear up something and show you how media is. I actually did not say that.
Okay.
I said that my mentor said something that I never thought about before. And even in the video that went viral, I said that. Yeah. I said, and then they put on top of it, David Banner said, and I said in the video that my mentor said. But I let it go because values are values.
Right.
And my mentor told me something after that. He said, David, what people don't understand, it's not about the sexual act. It's the fact that the streets know that you're dishonest to your wife. And if you're letting your wife be disrespected in the streets by what you're doing, don't nobody have to know who you having sex with in the back room. So if you're gonna allow your wife to be disrespected, what the hell do you think you're gonna do to me? And that's simple. That's not hard. All we have to do, so many people are trying to go forward. We need to get back to what our grandparents did, and it's that simple.
I agree. I appreciate you, David. Always,
man.
Brother, man.
Thank you.
Have a good time with me.
Good job again, brother.
I appreciate that. You said.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Let's get into the first segment of the part, which is what does this have to do with mental health? So with that, so basically he said that he repeated a quote from his mentor that said that you can't trust no man that would cheat on his wife. What I also thought was a few things unpack here. So, the study of how we act, think, and feel. For him to just let it go because he was like, they misquoted me and made it seem like I said that. He was like, I said in the video. And all I said was I repeated what my mentor said. Now, here's the thing with the whole Dave Bennett, with the whole statement in itself. It says, we've been prone as men to be like, it's okay for our homie to cheat on their wife or cheat on their girlfriend and be like, oh, it's just what it is and we okay with it. But then, and that's a form of, in a way, or not in a form, but that's being fake, if you really think about it. And we've normalized that. We've normalized this. And then you really think about it, it's like, it's really not okay. It's not okay that I always, like I said, I'm the type where I've always been an advocate for, against cheating. I understand things happen, but we've normalized that, like it's okay to do that, and I've always spoke against that. What I will say is everyone's values are different, and in this situation, when it comes to the whole cheating thing, it's like, okay, and not even just the cheating thing, just the whole logic of what happens when the media misinterprets your words and you just go with it. WWID. What would I do in this situation? So there are many times. Well, again, when we talk about in this episode, and you'll hear me say this upcoming week, I talk about being calloused and having calluses, and being graced for a certain thing. And I'm okay. I'm not okay. I don't like it, but I'm indifferent at this point when people misinterpret my words and take it and run with it. I'm just like, that's not what I said, but okay. And those who believe me will believe me. Those who don't. But it can be hard to do that. And we've talked about that before. It can be hard to do that, but I'm glad he had the opportunity to finally say, hey, that's not what I said. And he's like, y'all, and the video clearly says it, but I hope this is a lesson for people to really watch and pay attention to what is actually said in the clip and in the content, because we'll just go get caught up in the headlines of the media and overlook, like, he literally even said several times he didn't say that. But when it comes down to it, we've normalized something that actually is very questionable, because it's like, if he'll cheat on his wife, you don't think he'd snake you? And we've been taught or even groomed like, it's okay to cheat on a wife, but don't snake your homeboy. So then when these women flip it and be like, they put their homeboys over their woman, it's kind of like, we can't defend that. Food for thought. WWJD, what would Jesus do? So in a situation where we're just going to go based off of you being framed, or say you said something and is misconstrued, which happened to Jesus a lot, he would just defend himself at the time when it came. He didn't fret over it. He didn't run and go try to defend himself. Whenever he had the opportunity, he would defend himself if led, because there are instances where he even didn't say anything. But the times he did, he would say, no, this is what I meant, or this is, you fool, this is this. So I think David Banner did that the best, personally. And then WSMD, what should men do? Obviously, it's when it comes to defending yourself and when something is misinterpreted, I feel like there'll always be a time and place. But we go back to this whole, we've justified, or we're okay with men cheating on their wives as our friends and homeboys and brothers and daddies, and we just, it's okay because this is what men do. I think this is a bigger conversation, and I don't think we're going to be able to cover it tonight. And I wish somebody was here with me to really unpack it. But this is something we've normalized that I think we're learning, like, this is not okay. And it just answers the question, which I can't answer right now. But it is a debate, an open debate, I feel like, and we have to ask, and I really want people to comment on this. Why is it okay to watch our homeboys, brothers, cousins cheat on their wives, but then you better not snake your homeboy? Let's jump into the next topic for the day. This one's a little more interesting. So Donald Trump has proposed $2K for the people. Could you imagine $2K from Donald Trump? Y'all gonna take it, I bet. Let's watch the clip. We got this from Instagram. I think this is from the Shade Room. Let's check it out.
We're going to issue a dividend to our middle income people and lower income people of about $2,000. And we're going to use the remaining tariffs to lower our debt. We're going to be lowering our debt, which is a national security thing. So we're doing a lot of good work. And the numbers were reported so incorrectly. The real numbers are trillions of dollars have been taken in or gotten in terms of investment from the tariffs. And so if that were ever reversed, it would be a disaster. Frankly, it would be a national security problem for our country. And nobody thinks it's going to be reversed. I think we had a very good court case. As you know, it's before the Supreme Court right now. But if that were ever reversed, people are saying, oh, it's $1 billion. Some people said, oh, it's $2 billion. Well, that obviously we can handle very easily. But this is trillions of dollars we're talking about in terms of the tariff income and all the investment income that's come into our country. We're going to issue a dividend to our middle.
He is recommending to Senate Republicans that the hundreds of billions of dollars currently being sent to money-sucking industry companies in order to save the bad health care provided by Obamacare be sent directly to the people so that they can purchase their own much better health care, have money left over. In other words, take from the big bad insurance companies, give it to the people, and terminate per dollar spent. The worst health care anywhere in the world, Obamacare unrelated, we must still terminate the filibuster. Let's see the comments. Let's just look at a few comments. He said, before you have $2,000, not enough for healthcare. $2,000 not enough to get you checked in the hospital. Don't fall for it. All they got to mention is a handout. Y'all forget everything else. The word is funny. If y'all fall for against this again, we're doomed. What about next year back $700 insurance, $20,000 for healthcare is nuts. And you know, I like how they're breaking it down and just yeah. Okay. Now you know I'm not the politics podcast, but I do speak on Donald Trump because it's just what does this mean have to do with mental health? So I think from the first stance, we look at it like, okay, we're gonna get $2,000. This is another what was it called? The paychecks we was getting during COVID. What was it called? The money we was getting during COVID. That money. I can't remember the name of it right now, but we was getting that. Yeah. They think it's another one of those. And it's not, it's for healthcare. So people getting, you know, I'm glad people have kind of caught it and kind of like, you know, this ain't that. And that, you know, he's again talking about Obamacare and that it failed us and all that good stuff or bad stuff, however you want to look at it. And, you know, I know he irritates a lot of people. I don't take him seriously. I just don't allow him to stress me out. I don't allow a lot of things to stress me out. And because I don't, that means I'm ignorant, I guess. I don't know. But it's still crazy. People think I voted for him. I didn't. When we get to the politics episode that's coming, and I don't want to tell too much about the series, I'm going to break down my full stance. But I didn't vote for him. I know people think I did, but I didn't. So, you know, it's funny, but whatever. What was I about to say? So healthcare is pretty high now. Remember, y'all, I'm a full-time entrepreneur, so I don't have a job with benefits currently. Somebody was telling me, like, you know, sometimes it might be about the same from healthcare, from the media or the marketplace versus from covered through your job sometimes too. But you know, without like a job with benefits 100%. But you know, anybody hiring, even the job you think should be hiring, they hiring. Crazy, right? WWID, what would I do in this situation? I mean, if he offers it towards healthcare, I'm gonna use it. You know, if however I can use it, I guess I got to do much more research on it all the way. But I mean, I know it's not free money, and at this point, not too many things are free money anymore. Especially, I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of debt. We have a lot. I know I have a lot of debt personally. So anything I get, think, oh, I got to use this. I really need to be using it for debt to fight against debt, and I believe things are gonna work in my favor though. WWJD, what would Jesus do? So what would Jesus do in a situation? Usually I have something to say. I don't think I got nothing to say. I guess in this situation, Jesus spoke out. And if he felt or knew things because he was, you know, also God, if he knew something was off or not right, he would definitely speak out against it. Yeah. Yeah, and that's all I got with that one. And then WSMD, what should men do in this situation? Any money that comes your way, use it wisely. I'm taking a different direction with this. Any dollar that come your way, you need to be, and people talking about investing, it's something you probably got to pay off that you ain't paid yet. So any extra dollar, use it. But this is more so towards healthcare, you know, to go against Obamacare. It's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. Take that information and do what you want with that. All right, y'all. Final conversation today. We're going to talk about Big Sean. So for those that don't know, him and Jhené Aiko broke up. Allegedly, she broke up with him after 10 years because he wanted to get married. She did not want to get married. She wanted to get married. He did not want to get married. And I don't know all their backstory, so we ain't gonna get into all of that right now. But I do know they broke up. That's official. That's not nothing I made up. But let's get into this post I saw, and I want to unpack it and just once again showing about what the media does. All right, so it says Big Sean responds to viral. A girlfriend rumors after viral video. It says, let's see.
Hell yeah! I did. Everyone chat real quick. Say hi to the GOAT. Wanna play something? Hell yeah!
Yeah, unfortunately, I never met this person in my life. The girl was standing next to Hitboy, who was cut out the video. I don't know why the F she was so close to me though. I didn't see all of this until the video can understand the frustrations. SMH, but I don't even know this person at all. Big Sean said I don't know her. Mariah Carey. So let's read this part. It says the couple who first connected in 2016 after releasing their joint project 2088 welcomed their first son, or their son Noah, in 2022, and in 2024 interview with Charlemagne. Sean shared that while he sees marriage as meaningful, he values a strong relationship first. He also mentioned that marriage isn't ruled out for him and Jhené. They just haven't taken that step yet. I want to read this comic. This is actually my homegirl. She said, I think when a man says he isn't ready for marriage or doesn't see it for himself, that just means he doesn't want to marry you. And your best bet is to move on and be loved by a man who was ready and wants marriage with you. Take it from me. She looked easy to draw. Wow. Okay. Let's talk about it. So, what does this have to do with mental health? Study of how we act, think, and feel. A lot was made about Big Sean. Big Sean said, "Hey, that ain't true. I don't know that lady, and don't put me in no mess." And of course, people are gonna reach for stuff and clickbait because, like I said, he broke up with Jhené, and they thinking, "Oh, he trying to prove narrative. You know, all men are bad." So he broke up with one girl, his girlfriend, for all these years, and then got with somebody else right after. Again, what does this have to do with mental health study? How we act, think, and feel? I mean, he defended himself. He felt led to do that, but also if we go back to the situation with them calling it off, you know, you do wonder why some people are together that long and don't get married, and it's just interesting because we're not going to talk about them. We're just going to do this. WWID. What would I do in this situation? So you hear them stories about some people who was together for 10, 15 years, got married, got a divorce right after. You know, some of those people who got married in 2 years and still together. What I'll say is with that is that's why sometimes it's bad playing house. And I feel like if you are planning to get married, again, I've never been married, right? But I feel like y'all should at least be engaged first because people be living together, boyfriend, girlfriend. And honestly, if y'all doing everything like a couple, most men are going to say, what we getting married for? Most men are going to say that. So it's like, why would he, if any man, and because they the celebrity version of what goes on in real life, it happens all the time. He's still a regular man. She's still a regular woman. They just got some fame. But it's the same concept. If they already was doing stuff, everything like a married couple, having kids, living together, sharing bills, what they need to get married for him? He probably like, I'm chilling. She probably felt like she was strung along, but I mean, I just felt like it's been 10 years. What did you think? But then some people think they can change people, and that's where you go wrong. You can't change nobody. You can't change nobody. So now it would be crazy if he go get married, because then that means he just didn't want to marry her. WWJD, what would Jesus do in this situation? So, well, Jesus wouldn't be shacking up. That's one. But also, in regards to the post itself and what he did here, of course, he was a little vulgar. But, you know, again, if led to defend yourself, you will. You know, they say, hey, if somebody say you in a relationship with somebody you're not going to just ignore that. Certain things I feel like you need to check. Like, hey, no, we're not together. I don't even know that person. That's a little different than, you know, misquoting what you said. But somebody saying you're in a relationship with somebody, it's kind of like, hey, no, we're not. You know, I think you would address that. You know, I think that's okay to do. I think that's okay to do. Yeah, I think so. And finally, what should men do? Stop shacking up. Stop shacking up unless y'all about to get married. Unless you already at least engaged. But this boyfriend, girlfriend, house stuff, and then y'all get comfortable. Then y'all be doing boyfriend, girlfriend, house for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And it's like, what we doing? It's different when we was younger, but now you're a young millennial. What I think the youngest millennials, you about to turn 30. The youngest millennial is about to turn 30. So I mean, you got your last year in your 20s, but you about to turn 30. So you too old now. Early 20s, 20 up to 25, 26 maybe, but now no. For what? For what? For what? All right, y'all. So this week's episode of the podcast will start a new mini series that will not be necessarily recorded each week, and it might not even all be in the same season because this season about to end, and we're doing episode 1 of it, and then we'll pick it back up next season. But it's my new series called The Curious Case, and this one is like the curious case of the hypersensitive man, or have men become the new mean girls. And yeah, it's a solo episode, and it just again goes back into what I said I wanted to do, which was do a mini series, and then after this week's, and then next week, the following week starts the new series, which we will unpack, and I'll start unpacking after this week. We'll start kind of prepping for it and dropping promo for it, so y'all can kind of see and get ready and get excited for that. So yeah, that's all I got for y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. PSA signing out. Always remember, keep your head up like your neck hurt. Remember who you are. Make your mind up, don't let it make you. And always remember, I love us for